Welcome to 5 Beans, where we dive deep into topics surrounding personal growth and overcoming challenges. Today, we are tackling the issue of academic pressure, examining its impact on mental health, coping strategies, and the pursuit of success. I am Pranav Bhardwaj, and joining me today is Mr. Sudhir Singh Tanwar, an expert in academic stress management. Welcome, sir. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you so much, Pranav. I'm Sudhir Tanwar this side, and I teach insurance at MIT. I had a very long career in insurance. I joined a public sector insurance company way back in 1987 as a direct recruit officer, and then I spent over 30 years with that company. Somewhere around 2019, I decided to take leave of Oriental Insurance, and then I was out of the country for some time, and then I came back. When I came back, I again joined MIT University. So now I'm in the department of insurance and banking, teaching insurance to the students, and it has been a very enriching and welcome experience, and it has been going. The going has been great so far.
That's great, sir. Thank you so much. I'll start with the questions about academic pressure.
Sure.
How do you recognize when academic pressure is becoming overwhelming, and what steps can students take to address it before it impacts their well-being?
Yeah, sure. To answer this question, I would have to travel back 30 years or maybe 25 years in the past and recollect my days in colleges and my days in the university, where all these modern gadgets were not there, only the textbooks were there, and we had to remember the textbooks, learn by heart the textbooks to do well in the examinations. Now the pressure is now 10 times more on the students, because it is not only the textbooks which they have to memorize and remember while writing the answers in the examination hall. The extra pressure is also on their personality development, as well as on the amount of this internet and AI tools which they know. So this is apart from their academic books. So this is the point where the pressure builds up on the students, and students at times feel that they will break their back at times. The pressure becomes so high.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to ask another question. Can you discuss the role of time management in decreasing academic pressure, and what strategies can students use effectively to organize their study schedules?
Time management is the heart and soul of a purposeful living, because everybody has these 24 hours with them, in which they have to sleep also and they have to organize themselves also. So one thing is that you have to segregate your time in such a way that you get the best of everything. You have to play also, you have to eat also, you have to sleep also, and plus you have to catch up with the syllabus, and as well as with the latest gadgetry and the amount of information that is being uploaded on the internet. Because if you don't do this, then it is in the interview stages that the casualty happens. Because when the students are going for the interview, they are asked a very little bit about their academics and subjects qualification, but more on their personality development and the other areas of awareness which a student has to know about, and then only they get selected in the interviews. So time management is absolutely critical, and there is no second thought on this.
Okay, so thank you. That really explained the concept. How can students balance their academic responsibilities with extracurricular activities, hobbies, and socializing to prevent burnout?
This again boils down to the question of time management. This comes with self-discipline. Otherwise, this thing will never come. The students have to discipline themselves. When it is time for studies, they have to sacrifice all the other activities and sit down with their studies. When it is time for for games or whatever is their hobby, then at least they should shut down the books and join themselves in the games or in the habits, in the extracurricular activities. Finally, it is the question of time management only. Otherwise, the burnout will take place. No person can. In the old days, we used to hear that people who are writing IAS, civil service paper, they used to study 18-16 hours a day. I think that reality, that those days are gone now. We have limited time with us, and we have to finish our curriculum as well as extracurricular activities also in that limited time. So self-discipline is the core concept. There is no substitute for that.
So don't you think the education system has been very heavy on the students right now? Like students are not getting time to control their extracurricular activities, not able to balance them with the education system and with the academic pressure, as there are so many distractions now.
Exactly. I have been seeing this. I have been meeting these questions for the last 24 or 25 years. The syllabus of the students rarely changes in the university. It's only of late, for the last 10-15 years, that I've been seeing that there is a distribution of marks, something called internal assessment, 50 marks, and 50% will be your final exam. So these things are welcome, but otherwise, for example, if you take a medical examination or if you take a chartered accountancy course, the syllabus remains the same, which was there 25 years ago. You have to read all those thick and fat books and fat volumes and memorize them, and then only you can write your examination. And with that pressure, the new internet things, the new technology which is coming up in the market, students have to equip themselves with the new technology, and that is where the pressure builds up on the students. So syllabus minimization, it will, I think, take a very long time for the teaching, for the ministry and for the academics people to really recast the entire syllabus so that the students will better and easily they are able to do that. Right now it's heavy. The syllabus is very heavy and backbreaking.
Yes, sir. That was a great explanation of my question.
Thank you. Thank you.
What role does communication play in managing academic pressure, both with teachers, professors, with peers or family members?
Most critical. Nobody can stay in isolation. The entire world is a village. Nobody can stay in isolation. Communication is a lifeline. I've seen so many students, they don't do while reading the books, they are not able to grasp the contents or the idea behind the chapter which they are studying. But when they discuss among their friends and among their family members or with their seniors in the school and colleges or in the university, it becomes so crystal clear to them that they wonder that why this thing was not clear to them when they were reading the books and opening the pages and trying to read the book. Communication is very critical. It is the final tool for survival of the mankind. Whether it is in war or whether it is in peace or whether it is in studies, communication is critical.
Yes,
without that, the entire world is going to collapse.
So I can relate with that. It does help communicating.
Absolutely critical.
How can students foster a supportive study environment to help each other cope with academic challenges and reduce individual pressure?
Yes, the one thing is sure, the students who have done well or who are capable of doing well, they should step forward and they should also conduct classes. I have seen this experiment in schools in class 10, class 12, and when they conduct classes and when they try to come on the blackboard and do the explanation, somehow the catching of the students is very fast. The students, other students in the class, they're able to catch up the subjects very fast, vis-a-vis going to a tuition center and spending time, or vis-a-vis joining a professional course. So the students community themselves can organize classes, and that really helps them to build up their concepts very fast.
So do you agree with the concept that students help each other in these challenges? Like, do you have a problem with that? Do you feel like they should pay more attention to what you're teaching, or like, do they need these communication with each other, group studies?
This is
and everything?
supportive role. So there is no escape from the classroom teaching. Classroom teaching is absolutely necessary. The students interacting among themselves and teaching each other, it becomes a supportive pillar, and that pillar at times becomes a pillar of strength also. So that is why the universities and the colleges and the new education policy of the government of India, it tries to say that please, the students community should also come forward and they should also engage into teaching activities, so that the other students community from the other background or from the socially backward areas, they are able to also catch up with the subjects and thoughts, which otherwise in the class it becomes difficult for them to catch up with the subjects.
Yes, I understand. Makes sense. Can you share examples of healthy coping mechanisms that students can employ during periods of intensive academic pressure? Healthy coping mechanisms when there is a lot of academic pressure, like final exams or
absolutely. They have to divide their time. They have to divide their time. Now it is absolutely impossible that students, it is from we expect anybody to sit for 3 hours or 4 hours at a stretch and do a study. So they have to divide their time, and they short studies, maybe 45 minutes, 50 minutes, or maybe an hour session, and then take a break of 10-15 minutes, either with the music or with whatever food or whatever friends they want to catch up with or talk to the friends. Again sit down for another 40-45 minute session. This is how the planning has to be done. Otherwise time management will be sacrificed and the syllabus will remain incomplete. So this is how it has to be done. There is no other way out.
So do you think social media is a good healthy coping mechanism during intensive academic pressure?
Social media is a double-edged sword. It's absolutely a double-edged sword. Once you are hooked into it, there have been multiple cases where students have sacrificed their time, their syllabus, their money, their effort on the social media, and still at the end of the day, at the end of the tunnel, they have gained nothing. So discipline, self-discipline, if somebody can exercise self-discipline, then it is a wonderful tool. Otherwise, it does more harm than good for any student.
Yes, I agree with that. How can realistic academic goals contribute to reducing pressure and fostering a sense of accomplishment for students?
Realistic academic goals would be, it's slightly more theoretical to define. For example, suppose we take the case of chartered accountancy or cost accountancy. So in case a student wants to be on the manufacturing side, or in case a students of chartered accountancy, they want to specialize on the taxation or on the GST side, then their entire focus has to be mostly on those areas, on the GST or the taxation side, rather than on the arranging the annual general meeting, or arranging the extraordinary general meetings of the company. So that is how a person has to first decide which is his area of strength, and then he has to pick up those topics in the chartered accountancy course or in the medical profession. If a student is good in surgery, then he can ignore the general, little bit of general practitioner, and devote more time to the surgeries. So that is how it has to be done.
What strategies can students use to overcome feelings of inadequacy or comparison with their peers, especially in highly competitive academic environments?
The age-old wisdom, what our grandparents used to say, what the ancient civilization used to say, you are the only one in the world like yourself, there is no other. Don't compare yourself with other people. Do your best. Whatever is your talent, whatever is your brilliance, do your best, and leave the rest for the Almighty to take care of it. Comparing yourself to the others at times makes a person slightly miserable, and it derails him also from the focus. So the best thing is to understand that you are the only one. You are whatever talent Almighty has given, or whatever brilliance He has given, to use that to the maximum extent and leave the rest to fate.
Yes, sir. So do you think parents comparing their children with other peers is pushing the students for a better performance, or is it demotivating them?
It's again a very debatable. There is no specific answer to this, and humanity has been trying to find an answer to this question for times immemorial, but still the debate is very much on. As parents, it becomes something called, it becomes their second habit to compare their children with the other children and make remarks like see your neighbor is doing, your so and so friend or your so and so your cousins are doing so well, you should also do well. The parents, they get into this habit, knowingly or unknowingly they get into this habit, and at times it is very damaging for the child. But then the education, and because of the social media, there is now awareness, and some parents are understanding the fact that this type of comparison is more harmful to the child development of the child personality than in the growth of the child personality. So very calculative, very guarded remarks the parents of some parents who have understood this problem, they make that son or to their son and daughter that you have done well, you can do still better, try better next time.
So like they shouldn't compare them, they should motivate the individual selves rather than...
Absolutely, motivation. Comparison at times proves to be more harmful than the growthful.
How does physical activity and exercise contribute to managing academic pressure and promoting the overall well-being for the student?
Yes, physical exercise and sports definitely have got a very, very, very vital role, because see, no person can stay in isolation or locked up in a room with the books and the internet and do nothing, because it is there in the DNA of a person to be traveling out, to be going with the friends and to engage in some activities, and that is the point where all the stress which has been building up inside the body, inside the system, is de-stressed. The stress vaporizes, it goes away. The stress goes away. So that is why physical activities and sports have a very big role to play in the development of the personality of a child. Whether it is at the college level or whether it is at the school level, it is absolutely necessary. And that is why we have seen that in today's all the schools and colleges of today, if they are able to arrange some areas, some specific areas in the ground, they permit the children to play there, and this is the role and function of that, to aid in the development of the child.
Can you discuss the importance of seeking help from counselors, mentors, or mental health professionals when academic pressure begins to negatively impact mental health?
Yes, this has of late started gaining much significance, because these counselors, they have been interacting with the students for so long, and they have been asking the students, diving deep into the psychology of the students, that they have somehow understood it in a much better way than the student himself, how he is getting negatively impacted by the pressure of the work. So at times their suggestions and their advices proves to be really very helpful. Because they have the advantage of interacting with numerous students and understanding their psychology, which they can share with the other people. With the student, sometimes lose focus.
Can you discuss the importance of seeking help from counselors, mentors, or mental health professionals when academic pressure begins to negatively impact the mental health of the students?
Yeah, these people have got importance. Of late, in today's world, along with the syllabus, when the students are required to catch up with the latest technological development and the various tools which help them in making a good person. So at times they feel that the burden with them is so high that they start losing confidence in themselves. It is at this point that these mentors and psychological teachers, they come and then they can help. And their idea, their way of speaking and their way of understanding the thing is so different that the students feel refreshed after listening to them, and he starts wondering that why these thoughts never came to him before. And after listening to these people, and definitely he starts gaining the confidence into him. The confidence starts coming back into him. So it really helps in today's world. This psychology and counselors, it really helps.
So do you think even schools, colleges, and even when you start working, at every level should there be a counselor or a mentor for a person who can discuss about their mental health and help them to grow more?
Yeah, it is an extension of the same principle. Somehow now it is for the last 10-15 years I've been seeing that this has become a regular part of the curriculum now. That these counselors and the other people, psychologists who understands the human behavior in a much better way, they come and they guide the students also, and the students have benefited also in this way, in a much better way, because few of the windows which were closed to them, or few of the opportunities which they never knew before, suddenly became visible to them, and they got a confidence that yes, this is a new avenue which he should try, or which was not known to him earlier. So definitely it helps. It is becoming a part of the regular curriculum now in schools and colleges, and it should be there. It should stay. It should stay.
So that's it. Thank you for coming, sir. It was a really informative and helpful podcast. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Most welcome. Most welcome. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.